Hello, Steve White, Trek Boy 89 for Steve Arts 89. Well, I did a video yesterday about the announcement that Star Trek Discovery was ending, and I read through the article, I think on TrekMovie.com, and the statement that Kurtzman and that put out, and it sounded as though they had just decided to end the series, and I didn't really question that, but there is now some question that it wasn't their choice. Now, there was an article a little while ago about Paramount Plus having to reduce their spending on original content, and there was some speculation that could affect Star Trek because it was one of the most expensive shows, and it was questionable just how successful it was and how it was doing. And there's this whole issue with streaming services investing money for the long term and not actually making any profit in the short term, and at some point they have to stop investing and start actually getting it. So there was just a lot of sort of debate in that before this announcement came out. So when it came out, people thought, well, of course they're axing it. I'm like, well, this would have had to have been in motion for ages, so that was more of a recent article, but it does look like they have some time scheduled for reshoots, is what I'm hearing, which would suggest that they actually had finished the season, assuming they would do a sixth season, because they had said that there's no reason to think the show wouldn't end and it wouldn't keep going. There was no indication that they were planning the fifth season to be the last, and they also pushed the show because the show was supposed to premiere later this year. They still had to finish all the effects and everything, and they had Picard, and then they had one of the animated shows I think is coming up, and it was supposed to be airing late this year, but it's going to be airing early next year. So apparently they've got reshoot time and a few more months to finish the production. So it looks like they will be finishing off the series as opposed to just the season, which wasn't the original plan, is what I'm hearing. So that's kind of interesting. But I just assumed that they had decided to end the series, and they were just announcing it, because the sort of article that was talking about the money sort of running out for Paramount seemed like a recent thing, but the more I looked into that had actually been sort of known for a few months that was an issue, and was reported recently in some articles now, but it wasn't like they weren't like breaking it or anything. So it does look like maybe because some people are saying it wasn't cancelled, they chose to end it. I'm like, well, no, actually, no, I think it was cancelled. I think they actually said, you're done. We can't afford to have two live action shows of Star Trek on TV at the same time. Three. One was ending naturally. Picard was only planned to go for 3 seasons. Discovery had four years and has a fifth year now, which they could design as the last season. Whereas Strange New Worlds only had 1 season. They filmed the second season. It was getting good reception, so it would make sense to keep Strange New Worlds going and end Discovery if you had to pick one. So it looks like that's what's happened. Now, as far as the animated series, I don't know what's happening with them because they have outside investors who are paying for stuff, so it's not being paid for solely by CBS, Paramount Plus, whatever, which is how Discovery is being financed, and I think how Strange New Worlds was financed, because Picard was partly financed through Amazon. Netflix originally partly financed Discovery, but they got out of it in the 3rd season and then ditched it by the 4th season, which is why it didn't air on the network and on the streaming service, and they did that like 3 days before it was supposed to air and shocked everyone, and people didn't know where to find it, and there's a whole drama. So there's been a lot of drama with the show, and it looks like that's continued on right to the end. It doesn't look like it was a straightforward, we've decided to end the show and we've written it and we've wound it up the way we wanted. It seems to be more like we were expecting to get a 6th season. They might have prepared a little bit for it, and not left too many giant sort of unanswered questions or loose threads or whatever. But it looks like they have got the time to reshoot and wind up the whole series, which is was also rumoured to be happening several times, because there were a few times where they finished the show but then went back to do reshoots. And the rumour was each time that they cancelled the show and that they were doing the reshoots to actually conclude the series, not just the season. But that didn't happen unless they got last minute renewed and they went back to the original ending. I don't know, but that was sort of rumoured a few times, but it looks like it's actually happening this time because we've gotten the announcement that it's over, you know. So yeah, but I'm gonna go. Feel free to share, like, comment, subscribe. Let me know what you think. I know I've done a lot of videos about this, but it is a big deal, and yeah, I'm gonna go.